So everything, if you look around, everything in this creation began with a thought. So unless and until we have a strong desire to do something or to get something, we cannot manifest. Anything that you want to create happens in the present. It reminds us the power to create lives in now. Greetings, everyone. My name is Puja Gupta. I'm from New Jersey, USA, and I'm going to share my screen with you. The book that chose me and the one I'm presenting today is called Soul Lessons and Soul Purpose, and it's written by Sonia Choquette. This is how the book looks, and a little bit about the author. The author is a spiritual teacher, an intuitive reader. She's an author. She started intuitive reading at the age of 12 for adults. She gives lectures, takes workshops, and she basically helps people connect with their inner spiritual voice, which she calls as the sixth sense. To give you a background about the book, this book was an answer to her prayers to the universe, her wish to the universe that she wanted to bring her work and service to others. So immediately she felt instructed by a group of light beings known as the emissaries of the third world, who told her that she would soon be channeling a book and that they would give her the curriculum and how the book will be organized, everything they're going to be telling her. She would only be a channel for the book. This book has 12 soul lessons, and each chapter builds on the other. It addresses our consciousness on every level of body, mind, and spirit. It aligns our awareness to the higher self and the true purpose of our life. So the first 11, it's been divided into two parts. The first 11 chapters dismantles our ideas and beliefs and breaks us free from the ego. The next 11 chapters focuses on elevating of our vibrations to unite to the higher self and the divine expression of our life on earth. This book also instructs to evolve from an ego-bound, limited being to a divine, infinite being, to master our human experience, to free ourselves from all the negative patterns, and to live like an unlimited spiritual being. It also tells us about Earth, that Earth is a classroom where we can experience things physically, a laboratory to learn and experiment, the only place where we get direct feedback for the choices that we make. And it also tells us not to take Earth as a reform school, but as an opportunity school where we can learn from our mistakes and move ahead. So this book is, every lesson has 4 stages of learning: a student stage, an apprentice, a journeyman, and a master. So in a student stage, basically the subject is very new to the student. He's never heard about it, and he struggles and gets frustrated with the very thought of the subject. In the apprentice stage, he has heard about that subject before. It is not very new to the person. He wants to he wants to learn and shift, but there is resistance. And in the journeyman stage, it basically is a shift from learning to doing. He starts practicing, embraces learning in the heart level. There's less resistance, and recognizes difficulties as opportunities and feels responsible responsible towards them and tries to fix them. In the master stage, the master stage is when you start embracing the lessons. It becomes effortless, it becomes natural to you, and you start experiencing benefits of all the soul lessons in different aspects of your life, of a particular, or, most of the soul lessons. So you feel confident and you encourage and guide others, and you become a role model for the other three stages of learning. So, coming to the next slide. So, the first part is learning to use your creative power. So, in the chapter, I've written chapters here. It's actually a soul lesson. Due to the space consideration, I had to write chapter. So, soul lesson 1 is basically you are a divine immortal being. So, what it's trying to say here is that we are a part of the divine, we are immortal. We are more than what we see ourselves as. So, not to restrict ourselves to just being a physical being or the personality that we carry or the ego that we carry. We are much bigger than that. So when we realize that we are immortal and we are a part of the divine, that realization actually makes us fearless. And instead of the fear energy, the fear energy actually transfers and becomes a trust energy. So we start trusting. We know that there's someone always there for us, and there's that we are part of something bigger. Coming to the next chapter, you're co-creator with the divine. So life just doesn't happen to us. It actually is co-created. We ourselves co-created it with the divine. So our family circumstances, our financial circumstances, our obstacles, which family will be born to, which country will be born to, what will be our skin tone, everything is co-created by us along with the divine. So what it's trying to say is that our thoughts make what we are. In the third chapter, creation begins with the thought. So everything, if you look around, everything in this creation began with a thought. Nothing happens without the thought. So even if you have to buy a car, you think about it and then you go ahead and do it, make it happen. So everything, each and every small thing starts with a thought. So what it's trying to say is we have two types of thought. We intentionally think and we unintentionally think. So it's trying to say to think intentionally and make our lives better. Not to think negative, to, make our thought patterns better and go towards the positive. So repeated thoughts, basically what goes on our head becomes patterns, and those patterns becomes our beliefs, and beliefs influence our behavior and results. So it's saying that what the chapter is trying to tell us, that intentionally to go to the better side, think better to make your life joyful. In this chapter, engage your feelings. Here they're trying to tell us that every thought that we have can get manifested only when we have a strong desire behind it. So unless and until we have a strong desire to do something or to get something, we cannot manifest. So it's actually telling us that we have to put that fire of desire behind our feelings or behind our thought to manifest it. And so anything, for example, we have to create anything. You must have felt in your life, you wanted something so bad that you go behind it without feeling negative about it, or, the ego letting you bring behind, oh, this cannot happen or that cannot happen. You just go without thinking about the negatives and just go and get it. So that kind of a fire it's talking about. In this chapter, you create in pictures. What it's trying to tell is that to manifest a thought, when we start imagining it happening, when we give it some mental pictures, is when it starts manifesting. So, for example, I'll give you, if we want to construct a house, so we think of what kind of rooms we want, how big a room will be, how many rooms there would be, what kind of a kitchen we want, uh, what kind of a study room we want. So everything, it's like a blueprint. So if you have clear, it's talking about clear, stable pictures. If you keep switching between the thoughts or the pictures, then manifestation cannot happen. So you have to have a clear, very clear view, very clear, stable vision of what you actually want to manifest. Chapter 6 talks about living in the present. This is basically telling us most of our thoughts are basically about past and future. And it's either we are like, cribbing about the past, or we are, anxious about the future. But what it's telling in this chapter is that stay in the present. It is in the present that we can create. So this moment today is something what we had thought in the past, and whatever we're thinking today will become our future. So anything that you want to create happens in the present. It reminds us the power to create lives in now, not in yesterday or some other day. The chapter 7th, this says about the divine energy flows through you, not from you. So what it's trying to tell us is that we are just a channel through which the divine energy flows. We are not the real source of energy. We are just a channel, a vessel through which it flows. Everything in the universe, if you see, has the divine energy. But we are not the creators. We create along with the divine. For example, if we want to create a garden, we will find a space for it. We'll, put the soil in there, put the seeds, sow the seeds, put water, nurture it. But then the creation takes over. So it is not us what does everything, but we do it along with the divine energy. The divine energy flows in everything in the nature. So just to realize that we are not the main thing. It is the divine energy. Anything that we create is with the divine. In this chapter, it tells us to refine our reason, basically to flip our thinking, to think clearly and logically, to see situations in our life from a distance. We have repeated patterns to think about, to, sit in solitude and contemplate why these patterns are happening again and again. This pattern is coming. A situation comes again and again in our life. So why is it that coming? So sit in solitude, contemplate, and then understand and correct your thinking. In this chapter, the author gives an example of a client who could not find the right employees for his painting job. Like he had this idea that each and every employee, those employees just come for 6 months and then they leave and go. So it's very hard for him to find employees. And because of this mindset, he could not see that with every employee, he would be good and supportive till 4 or 5 months with the employees, and then he would be unreasonable with them, not giving them enough rest, expecting too much out of them. He would delay their paychecks, and he could not understand it was his pattern which was actually throwing the employees away, making the employees leave the job. So it's basically asking us to flip our thinking and to contemplate, sit and think about a pattern and contemplate where we are wrong. It could be our problem, not theirs. The next chapter talks about follow your inner voice. So what it's trying to tell is that intuition is our inner voice. So always be in contact with the intuition, with the inner voice. And it is a very, very gentle suggestion. It is a very gentle, subtle voice. And to hear it, we have to sit in a quiet environment and try to listen to it. It resides in our heart. So we have to connect to our heart to listen to that voice. And this voice is so subtle that it does not overpower our ego or the voices of the world. So to connect to it, we have to be in a quiet atmosphere and focus on our heart. And it also tells us to not do anything without consulting our inner voice. So lesson 10 here tells us to open our heart. It tells us to live with an open heart, because a closed heart cannot let our soul grow. It restricts our growth of the soul. So it tells us to open our heart, to receive love, and to spread love. And how do we open a heart? Is basically we start loving ourselves. Start by loving ourselves first, and then spreading the energy all around us without being selective. So here I would like you guys to do a little practice with me just for 30 seconds. Let's all close our eyes and feel all the love energy going through our body, filling our body, each and every cell, each and every atom, in every crook and corner. Feel the love energy. And then just start spreading. See how it's spilling out of you to your surroundings, to your loved ones, to your neighbors, to the city, to the state you live in, spreading to the country, to the oceans, to other continents, how it's spreading all through the globe. Just let it spread. Fill yourself with so much love that it starts spilling everywhere, all around your surroundings. It's a very short exercise I asked you to do, but do sit and try to do it. Give it some time and do it, and try to feel how it opens your heart and you spread around with love. So, yes, coming to the next soul lesson, it's talking about detachment. This detachment is about pure, it's nothing. Detachment is nothing but pure acceptance. It is not about not caring, but having a distance between your material life and yourself, between your body and yourself, between your personality, your ego, to keep a little distance between them, to know that is not what you are. So not to go crazy about your accumulations and your materialistic stuff, to accept your present. Life is what it is. So not to hold things too tightly. And the best example would be donating stuff that you don't need. It helps us detach little by little from our, hoarding practices, or, you attaching too much or getting into accumulation. So just try to do that activity, and that helps us. Coming to the second part, working with the divine law. So in this, the soul lesson is that all is in divine order. What it's trying to say is that nothing in life is random. Life can seem chaotic, unjust, unfair at times, but always remember there is some deeper intelligence working behind it. It doesn't mean it's not painful. Obviously, the challenges become painful in life, but always remember that there's something bigger unfolding with the purpose, timing, and meaning. So sometimes in our life, growth means to go through struggles. A closed door could mean an opening of a new journey for us. Protection could look like rejection. So just always remember that everything is in divine order. So just leave yourself, surrender yourself to the higher self, and let it take over your life. In chapter 13, it tells us to reverse our perceptions. Basically, it's telling us to flip the way of how we think, how we take life happening to us. It in any situation, especially, you have to start thinking in a different way. Flip your way of thinking, especially when you're going through situations which are, gives you fear, or it's related to your past, ego, or some kind of assumptions. So take a back step, flip your thinking, and think it in a different way. No automatic reactions to things. Uh, we have the power to reverse things. We have the power, like we have the power to create. So do we have the power to discreate as well? So just remember to reverse. Anything that you've created negative can be reversed to a positive, and this is what this lesson teaches about. Lesson 14 tells us to accept death. So death is another dimension of life. So not to, get associated too much with your physical body. Always remember that we are immortal. And, sometimes we also get too connected to certain things, but there's always, you will be in the whole creation, you will find that there is a cycle of life and death. So if you see outside, if you see in the spring, the trees are full of beautiful little, leaves start coming, soft leaves, how they grow day by day, how they um, get bigger, and how in the fall all the leaves just fall away. So it's just accepting um, death. So accepting that one day we will die actually makes it easier for us to live, because sometimes when we are in fearful energy, we forget, we do not take our chances, we do not move ahead and do things that we want to do. So always remember, death is just another dimension of life. In this soul lesson, it tells us to embrace life's test. So to accept tests in our life, not as punishments, but as a lesson to grow, to become wiser. Just take them in your stride. And the most important part is that the tests don't matter. What matters is with the grace, the calmness, the acceptance, you take those tests in your life. And just remember that these tests are basically divine's curriculum for us. And just take them as they come. And you will always, if you see in your, at least I see it in my life, the test or the obstacles or the challenges that I faced in my life actually made me wiser, stronger as a person, more compassionate towards others. So this is what it's telling us. Coming to the next soul lesson, temper your ego. Here it's telling us that ego isn't bad. So we are not going to destroy the ego, but instead work around it, make it work around our, soul. Make it as work as how we want it to work. To, ego wants to cling. It doesn't like changes. It takes you back and forth to all the past patterns. Anything happens today, a simple thing happens with the same person, and you will go back and remember all the past, problems you had with the person. So it's basically trying to say to not to cling to something and to release yourself from that patterns. So basically shifting from self-importance to self-awareness. Shift from what I can get to what I can serve. So it's about service. It's teaching about humility and service, and to move around. Like we can move the ego. Ego should not be moving us. Ego should not be telling us our life goes. So next, coming to the next soul lesson, addressing our mistakes. So what it's trying to tell us is to accept our mistakes takes a lot of courage, and to change them takes a lot of power. So to acknowledge them, accepting the mistakes, and is most important thing, because unless and until we accept, we will not move ahead and try to fix them. And it's also says that unless and until we accept our mistakes or some bad decisions we did or poor decisions we took in life, the soul makes sure that those lessons come back face to face, unless and until you learn them. And so it could be ignoring your body or what is happening with the earth right now. We have taken earth for granted. It is a living conscious being, and we have taken for granted earth. And we now we see the changes, what's happening on earth, with all the calamities happening, tsunami and earthquakes, so many things happening everywhere, floods happening, droughts happening, the weather is changing. And this is the conscious putting our mistakes in front of us. This is like a correction on a global level, and to fix our mistakes basically. So this is how the the conscious works, and it brings back in front of us the mistakes we have done. Chapter 18 is all about actively meditate. Here it's talking about not to passively meditate only. Meditation is not just passive. Like we do not have to just sit and, meditate, but it is actually meditating in every way of your life, every stream, like make meditation a daily activity in your life. While you're walking, feel the surroundings. While you're, feel the bird, hear the chirping of the birds, feel the leaves around you, feel the tree. So actively meditating every moment of your day-to-day life. Be more aware and mindful about what you're doing while cooking, while taking a shower, while cutting vegetables. Every daily activity you should be meditating, being more aware. And so the next chapter 19, is love your body. So this chapter is very close to me. So it's basically telling us that we should love our body. Our body is a beautiful temple that we take granted for, and it does so much for us. To realize that how much body does for us every moment, every second, like non-stop. It keeps working for us. There's the heart pumping inside us, bringing blood to every cell, every atom in our body, and we do not even realize it. The lungs working, breathing, the breathing going on, our kidneys working, different organs, different glands working for us. To have the respect towards your body. It is not just the physical self that we need to see. It is beyond the physical self. And, it is beyond the appearance. And to respect it. Last year, I'll give you my example. Last year, I had a backache and I could not move. I literally could not move. My husband had to, put all the strength to, pick me up of the bed. I could not go to the bathroom. It was so, eye opening that even though we have everything. I used to just lie there and think, oh, everything is there. There's so many saris hanging in my closet. There's a beautiful car outside. But if my body is not working, I cannot use any of the materialistic things what we have gathered. So what I'm trying to say is that we should have always be in gratitude of body. In this chapter, it makes it clear, always be in gratitude and respect for your body. I do not take it for granted, for sure. Next chapter is about regenerating our soul. So as our body needs rest, so does our soul. And respect the soul. And here the author actually tells us that sun, to regenerate our body with the sun, which is not just a star or a ball of gas, but it gives life to the whole creation. It is solar consciousness radiates a living vibration that activates and sustains our spirit. And in this chapter, the author equivalence, the heart in our body is also our inner sun, which actually accumulate, which receives, stores, and spread energy to each and every cell and regenerates our body. So it's comparing our heart to the sun. The sun does it to the soul what heart does to a body. Next chapter is shatter negative patterns. So some patterns we carry from our past, unconscious habits. It's trying to tell us to actually shatter them and recognize them. So there are 3 ways of recognizing them. And you basically see the pattern, study how it's, what do you say, trust. You have to trust. Sorry. What I'm trying to say here is study the negative patterns. Whatever past patterns you're having, just make a conscious effort to negate them, study them. Where are they coming from? And then from the negative pattern, just change your thought and make it into a positive. And the last chapter, which is the most important soul lesson, is waste no time. Our time is precious, our life is precious, we are here, we are immortal. But what it's trying to say is that we are definitely immortal, but we incarnate here for only a specific period of time. So be focused on your soul evolution, what you are here for, your soul growth, and do not waste your time on other things. Live intentionally. Life flows when your inner calling becomes clear. So please do not waste your time. Focus on what we are here for. These are the main takeaway points. Your life has a spiritual purpose. Challenges are not punishments. Your intuition is your soul's voice. You co-create your life. And these are some more that you could read later. And last but not the least, thanking everybody. I know I've taken a few minutes more for my presentation. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to all my gurus who brought me to this stage of my life. Thank you to Pradeep Vijay sir for bringing me out of my shell, for this beautiful TOT program. To all the BEHF team for working so hard for us nonstop. I cannot even fathom what you guys do for us. And thank you to all of you for listening to me and keeping this patience. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You were talking about opening of the heart space, no, ma'am?
Yes.
So I'm seeing some people who are actually having a closed heart. They are not open for new things. They are not ready to accept new people or new situations, circumstances. But we cannot blame them also. They are in their own way, they are doing their job perfectly, meticulously. They are
Yeah.
doing all their duties and responsibilities. They are 200% perfect people, but having closed hearts. So, what you have to say for them from this book, Wisdom?
Ma'am, in this book, what they say is to love somebody, you have to love yourself first. So, unless and until you start loving yourself, start giving love to each and every cell, atom in your body, spread the love energy all through, from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. You have to feel that love. You have to self love first to love somebody else. When you're in that energy of love, it is very difficult for it not to spread. It just spreads. I have felt it in my own way. And I told you about my body, my body, my backache, how it was a blessing in disguise. I could not move for 5 weeks. It was a blessing in disguise. I could not even sleep for more than 3 hours. I used to sit and sleep. So, but you have to love yourself that much that you forget everything around you. When you are in love energy, you just forget who does what to you. You just love yourself for what you are, and that energy is very contagious. It just spreads. That's what it's trying to say. To open your heart is to love yourself first and then spread that love around. So that is all what I understood from the book. I hope I
Oh,
answered your
okay.
question.
Okay. So to make changes in other people, I should be um,
You
no
should be
love at
open
all.
to receiving love first. You have to
Okay.
receive, and then only you can give. If
Okay.
your vessel is full with
Mm,
something, then only it will pour out,
yeah.
right? So
Okay.
you have to be just full of love. It doesn't matter who's in front of you, anybody. That kind of love, when you see a newborn baby, I would say, that kind of love, you have no selection. You just see the baby, and the baby is open to you. You are open to the baby, and it just spills out, is what I understand.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. Convey our wishes to your daughter for the beautiful, wonderful template design.
The back pain you said, I am in bed right now. For the past 3 days, I am totally in bed. And in the same situation, can't do anything. Even to get turned in the bed, I need my husband's help.
Yes, yes, that's what happened with me. 5 weeks, 5 long weeks.
God. And I'm actually utilizing it too because I had ordered like a many books to choose a book for the presentation, and I wasn't getting any time to read that, but I'm going through all the books now and listening to recordings, and also like preparing for the upcoming sessions. I do small sessions here, so utilizing it in that way. The only thing is that I can't sit more than 5 minutes, so I can't meditate. I'm trying to do it in the lying position, but it's a failure, honestly. Like only a few minutes, then I'm losing that
where
concentration.
where exactly are you trying to sit, ma'am?
Anywhere, on the bed or on the floor or on the firm surface, anywhere I can't.
So I'll elaborate on my experience, what happened with me, because I could not sleep for too long. I used to delay my sleeping by 12. So I used to meditate and then lie down in the bed, but I could not sleep for more than 3 hours. Neither could I move because, just being on your back, I couldn't move left or right because the pain was so much. It was like a rock was, on my stomach area, there was a huge rock, and I just could not move left or right. So somehow in the morning after 3 hours, I used to just, I don't know how I used to come out of the bed. Little by little, I used to slide out of the bed. And then I used to get up somehow. I used to go sit on the sofa and with my back rested. And I used to just close my eyes, put the healing music on. And I used to sleep on the sofa from 3 to 6, I remember. And the good part was I had done Gudakesha before that. So I had that, learning from there. So I could do that. I could just sit and sleep. I would just put my ear, the buds inside my ear and just be with the meditation music, put healing music. And that is how I came out of my back pain, by giving myself love and sitting like that, healing myself. So try to do that as often as possible. I remember I couldn't even cook. I used to stand for 20 minutes and sit for 45 or 1 hour. And then I go back and do the work and then go back and sit again. So it was a journey, but it made me very strong. And the best part out of it was I came very close to my body and very, very, learned to be in gratitude for it. So I thank it for every day. Whatever it does for me, it does so much. Carrying around, even if you ask your kids, to do something for 2 times or 3 times, they would say, "Oh, mom, what's happening?" But we ask out of our body non-stop. It just goes on, and it is always there for us. But we take it for granted. So this episode that happened made me realize not to take it for granted. So try meditating while sitting, but sit on a sofa which is very comfortable, maybe a recliner where you can open your legs also. And
Well, Pujaji, the problem is I can't sit, especially sofa, like on a soft surface. No way, and reclining position aggravates my pain like anything. So if,
oh,
yeah, so if any suggestion, like how can I meditate, and at least how can I meditate like while lying down?
so ma'am, if you can't sit, you just close your eyes and meditate,
Yeah, I keep trying for that. Yeah. Thank you, Ji. Thank you. Anyway, it
and
was.
just put love energy to your back. That would
Oh,
what I would suggest. Yeah.
okay, okay, okay. My actually, you know what? My daughter was telling me the same, and I kind of hesitate to do that because I'm thinking if when I have this situation, I accepted it totally. I'm like, well, it could be my karma phala. If so, okay, let it happen and let it heal in its own way and let that karmic account be closed. And whatever the
It
lesson I need to be learned, I'm totally willing to learn. So when like putting energy like that and like a healing energy, I don't know if I'm interfering with that karma phala.
maybe that karma is not that long. Maybe it is there to teach you something, and you're stopping it from you like what I would try to say is, I remember someone correct me, Pradeep sir. Somebody said something in the chat. Let me just read it. Yeah, Pradeep, she's saying is Pradeep sir wrote that we can lie and meditate. So karma, ma'am, there are, yes, maybe it is just a learning. Karma is learning, right? So we have to learn from the experience we are getting. Doesn't mean we are stuck in that karma. We have
No,
to grow out of it too. And
yeah.
loving yourself is not bad. It's not coming, it's not an obstacle between your karma, right? We should be loving ourselves anyways.
Okay, okay.
This you have to remember, this body is a temple too. You
Yeah.
cannot experience anything unless and until this body is working.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. When you said that, I was thinking about that. Well, the session is for me. It was like very helpful. Thank you, and thank you all for like whoever like was giving suggestions in the chat. Thank you.